Sleep. So sleep is one of those things that we all need. I'm Kate. I'm going to just talk you through a couple of points with regards to sleep. Now it sounds really silly because obviously we know we need it, but actually a lot of us don't get as much sleep as we need. So how much sleep is needed? It's between roughly 7 to 9 hours a night. So if you look through all the guidelines, all the kind of recommendations, 8 hours has always kind of been that magic number. Now for some people you might need slightly more sleep. For some you might be able to function on slightly less. So it is a matter of finding that right balance for you. But I do think that I've always personally underestimated the value of sleep, and it's something that I discovered very recently where when you work too much or you're really putting a lot out there, you find that over time, without realizing it, you're getting less sleep, or the quality of your sleep isn't as good. Now, when you go away on things like holidays and you get that time to be slightly further away from your stress of your normal life, or you're in a different environment, you find generally that your sleep improves. You find that all that worry has gone, you're in a different environment, you're maybe not working so late, you're maybe not going out all the time like you would do back home, you're not having to get up so early, and your body comes back into this kind of more routine of a sleep pattern that is natural, that isn't about the late nights and the early starts. So the important thing with that is to always remember that sleep is needed and to prioritize sleep. And it goes to this whole picture of energy that you're putting out there. So if it means that you need to say no to a social plan because you need a good night's sleep, that's actually really good. That's a really good thing to give yourself permission to do. You will feel so much better for having a good night's sleep versus continually running on adrenaline in a way. Your body starts to use adrenaline, which then increases your levels of cortisol, which is a stress hormone in your body. And that can have detrimental effects. That can lead to weight gain. It can lead to all sorts of changes within your appetite. And over time, these things become really detrimental to your health. So always prioritize your sleep. It's when your body has that time to recover. It's when your body has that time to just rest, because we're always using energy. We're always using our muscles, and it gives your body that time to really recuperate to a point where it can be the best version it can be the next day. So prioritize your sleep. So there's many factors that can affect your sleep. So we're going to talk a bit now about how to get the best sleep possible, how to get the most out of your sleep. One of the biggest factors in causing detrimental effects on your sleep is things like caffeine or stimulants. So alcohol, caffeine, energy drinks, anything like that that can affect our body's natural cycle will affect your sleep if you're having them, for example, late into the evening. So if you do find that you're having trouble sleeping, have a look at how many maybe cups of tea or coffee you're having. Even green tea has caffeine in, so avoid any of that after about maybe even 2 or 3 in the afternoon. Maybe have a last cup of coffee after lunch and don't have one in the afternoon. So avoid, if you're having problems sleeping, having a cup of green tea, for example, before you go to bed, because there's a small amount of caffeine in that will affect your sleep cycle. Go for something more herbal based, so like a peppermint tea or a chamomile tea, or something that's going to calm your nervous system down rather than ramping it up to the point where your brain is then so active that you won't be able to sleep. Your whole body will be in this effect of ready to go. So just be mindful of that kind of stuff, especially as what happens when you're not getting good sleep is that you get more tired. So then you're probably more likely to be reaching for that extra cup of coffee or reaching for that extra cup of tea. And that's just only going to create this extra cycle of tiredness, and you're going to get all these energy slumps that are familiar also with things like increased sugar levels and stuff like that. So often when you're tired, you'll start reaching for the sugary snack that you didn't want to do because the hormones are affected in your body. So you're producing less leptin, which is an appetite suppressant, and you're really going out there and you're taking whatever it is to keep yourself going. So just be mindful of that. The other thing is that if you're struggling with sleep, have a look at when you're exercising. If you're exercising late at night, that sometimes can affect sleep. So if you are someone that exercises in the evening and you're finding you're coming home and you're finding it hard to sleep, give it a try exercising in the morning or at lunchtime. or try and get the workout in a little bit earlier in the day, because it can really stimulate your body. So even though you feel physically tired, there might also be other things going on in your body that are keeping you really awake. Avoid watching any TV very close to going to bed. So say, for example, you've got your favorite show on, you're kind of ramping up through the episodes. Try and take at least 30 minutes to 45 minutes before you go to bed to just take that time to shut everything off. Don't look at your phone, and find a way of bringing your mind, bringing your body into a more relaxed state. So whether that's having a bath or a nice hot shower, or maybe it's sitting and reading a book for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, something that's going to really start to chill you out before you go to sleep. So another thing you can do with that is a mindfulness exercise. You can find a mindfulness program either online or on Headspace, the app, to do that before you go to bed. There's some really good meditations out there as well for just before sleep, because sometimes our brain is so active from the day to day, the concerns, the worries, that you might find that that is consuming you in your sleep. So you want to try and make sure that you're shutting that down before you go to bed, so that you're not then consumed by all of this when you're sleeping. So alcohol can also affect it. So make sure if you are having a drink in the evening, keep alternating your drinks with some water, just to make sure your body stays hydrated. That's really important as well. Make sure that you drink a good bit of water before you go to bed, and try and avoid anything just before you go into bed, because it does have an absolute bigger effect than what we realize before we sleep. So we talked a bit already about the stimulants with sleep and the things that keep you active before you go to bed. So just to refresh on those, you want to be avoiding caffeine late at night. You want to be avoiding looking at your phone. You want to be avoiding watching too many TV programs or TV late just before you go to bed. And think about the content of what you're watching. Sometimes watching kind of high dramatized programs or content that can maybe be violent or a bit depressing to watch can also create this area within your body that causes stress, and the stress is what you want to avoid before you go to sleep. So avoid any of that. Try and put your phone away, and try and make sure that you're calming yourself down. Buy yourself a nice candle and make your bedroom as well a pleasant, calm environment. So try and keep it decluttered. Try and keep it as a safe space where you can come to, like a sanctuary really, to start winding yourself down. The other thing is to keep a good sleep pattern, a good routine. So even at the weekends, try and keep the same routine going so that your body is completely used to one sleep cycle, because it just means that you're going to get more use during the weeks as well, when you're having to get up maybe early to go to work. To come back, you're going to bed at a similar time and you're getting up at a similar time every single day. And all these factors are going to really help and ensure that you're getting good quality of sleep, because without it, other functions start to deteriorate. So our cognitive function goes, your mind is not so responsive, you're not as responsive with interactions with other people. It means that your energy levels are affected. So ultimately, you want to really be aiming for those 7 to 9 hours a night. And all in all, that will give you the best sleep possible, that will give you the best chance to enjoy your day to day, and it will give you a better chance of being less stressed. So there we have it, how to get a good night's sleep.